Hello everybody, myself Prasanto Mukhopadhyay, faculty member, Electrical Engineering Department, Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management. In the last class of electric power machine 2, so we have started a new topic, synchronous machines, where we have discussed about the constructional features of synchronous machines, mainly stator, its rotors, etc. But one more thing we have to discuss, so that we'll discuss in addition with this constructional features or constructional synchronous machines. In a synchronous generator or alternator, actually a DC current is applied to the rotor winding, producing a rotor magnetic field, and the rotor is then turned by external beams, producing a rotating magnetic field. Basically, this external beams which is rotating this rotor. So this is the mechanical force or mechanical power which are being inserted in the synchronous machines. That is the mechanical energy or mechanical power. So that rotate that actually say by producing mechanical torque, it is rotating the rotor. So this rotor is provided with a DC current actually, so it produces a stationary magnetic field. And when this prime mover rotates, because the rotor is coupled with the prime mover, and with the rotation of the prime mover, this rotor also rotates, and as a result, a rotating magnetic field will be produced. So actually this producing a rotating magnetic field which induces a three-phase voltage within the stator winding. So field windings are basically the windings which producing the main magnetic field that is provided in the say rotor windings, and armature windings, as I told you earlier, so it are the windings are the main voltage is induced, that is the stator winding. So this is here, so this is the rotor, these are the rotor windings, and this is the stator or armature where stator windings are being placed. So these are three-phase voltages are induced here, that is red, yellow and blue. Here it is red, say blue and green, that is shown here basically. So and say now, so actually we have also discussed the stator construction of the say rotors. So this is actually the cylindrical rotor, and this is salient pole rotor. So this is actually end view, and this is the side view of the cylindrical pole. Actually, the rotor of a synchronous machine is large electromagnet. The magnetic poles can be either salient sticking out of the rotor surface, or non-salient construction. This is non-salient construction rotor, or cylindrical, which usually 2 or 4 poles rotors, and this is salient pole rotors. So it may be 4 or more poles. Basically, it is more than 4 poles. So actually, rotors are made laminated to reduce the eddy current loss, that we have discussed in our earlier class also. And common approaches are used to supply DC current to the field circuits on the rotating rotors. So supply of the DC power from an external DC source, so to the rotor by means of slip rings and brushes, or supply the DC power from a special DC power source mounted directly on the shaft of the machine. So basically, these are the excitation systems of the synchronous machines, mainly DC exciter, static excitation systems, or it may be brushless excitation systems. So these are the three different actually systems. So both the static excitation systems and say DC excitation systems are not of more of use. So today nowadays we are using a brushless excitation system. So in broader aspect, mainly two common approaches are used. So supply of the DC power from an external DC source. So yes, it is shown. Basically, these are the brushes, these are the slip ring, and to rotor by means of slip rings and brushes, and supply the DC power from a special DC power source mounted directly on the shaft of the machine. So slip rings are metal rings. Basically, slip rings are metal rings completely encircling the shaft of the machine, but insulated from it. And graphite like carbon brush, basically these are the carbon brushes or graphite like carbon brush connected to the DC terminals ride on each slip ring, supplying DC voltage to field windings. So on the large generators and motors, the brushless exciters are mostly used. A brushless exciter is a small AC generator whose field circuits are mounted on the stator and armature circuits are mounted on the rotor shaft. So the exciter generator's three-phase output is rectified to DC by a three-phase rectifier mounted on the shaft and fed into the main DC field circuit. And it is possible to adjust the field current on the main machine by controlling the small DC field current of the exciter or generator located on the stator. So once again I am repeating this part. On large generators and motors, brushless exciters are used. A brushless exciter is a small AC generator whose field circuits are mounted on the stator and armature circuits are mounted on the rotor shaft. So the exciter generator's three-phase output is rectified to DC by three-phase rectifier mounted on the shaft and fed into the main DC field circuit. And it is possible to adjust the field current on the main machine by controlling the small DC field current of the exciter generator that is located on the stator. So this is a construction basically brushless exciter. The low three-phase current is rectified and used to supply the field circuit of the exciter, field circuit of the exciter located on the stator. Okay, and the output of the exciters. The output of the exciter's armature circuit, armature circuit on the rotor is rectified and used as the field current of the main machines. So this is actually in the stator part where a three-phase current is used to rectify in a DC, and this is given to the exciter of the armature circuit, that is this is on the rotors, and this actually this again the exciter armature actually this is actually exciter field. Okay, this is the basically this is a three-phase low three-phase is current which is being rectified here, and this rectified is given to the exciter field circuit and exciter armature. Actually this is basically this is actually a AC generator. So this output is again three-phase rectifier. Actually this is rectified as a DC and given to the main field of the synchronous machines, and the entire part is on the rotor sides, and this is the main armatures of the synchronous machines or generators from which the three-phase output is being taken out. So once again I am telling you a low three-phase supply is given to the stator winding, which is the exciter actually which is being rectified and supplied to the exciter field, and which is entirely on the stator part, and the armature part is on the rotor sides, and this three-phase output is being rectified again by three-phase rectifiers and given to the main field of the synchronous machines. And when this rotor is rotating, so three-phase voltage will be induced in the stator, that is the main armature actually, and from here this output voltage is being collected for transmission and distributions of the supply. Okay. So now to make the excitations of the generator completely independent of any external power source, a small pilot exciter is often added to the circuit. So this pilot exciters actually is like this. This is actually pilot exciter on the stator or armatures. So its output is being for this pilot exciter field is on the rotor side, which is nothing but the permanent magnets, and this pilot exciter's output is being rectified and then given to the served as the exciter field. So this entire thing is on the stator side, and then its output actually this is also a generator. So this is exciter generator. So basically its output is again three phase. So it is rectified and given to the main field of the armature. So this is the in this part, that is pilot exciters field, and then exciters armatures, and say its output of the armatures is being rectified and then given to the main field of the generators. So these things are mounted on the rotor sides, and this is actually the three-phase output which is being calculated on the armature of the main machine. So this is the system. So again, I'm telling you, so to make the excitation of the generator completely independent of any external power source, a small pilot exciter is often added to the circuit, and the pilot exciter is an AC generator with a permanent magnet mounted on the rotor shaft and a three-phase winding on the stator, producing the power for the field circuit of the exciters. So that is for the field circuit of the exciters, and then its armature, actually exciters armatures is on the rotor side. So this three-phase output of this exciter generators is being say rectified and given to the main field of the generator. So and the three-phase output is say collected from this generator's stator sides. Okay, so this is a rotor of a large synchronous machine with a brushless exciter mounted on the same shaft. So this is shown here, and this is actually the exciters for the salient pole machines. Okay, so that's also shown here, and so rotations of the speed of the synchronous generators is actually ns equal 128 by p. So this is shown here. Okay, so for steam turbine, most of the efficient when it is 60 Hz, so it will be 3600 rpm, or if it is 50 Hz, it will be 3000 rpm for two polar. And for water turbines, it will either for at low speeds it is say 200 to actually so actually for 60 Hz two polar machines, it will be the synchronous speed will be 3600 rpm, and for 50 Hz two polar machines it will be 3000 rpm, and for water turbines at 60 Hz it will be for salient pole generators, so it will be 200 to 300 rpm, and for 50 Hz it will be around say number of poles, it will be around, it's also around say 150 to 250 something like that. So it is a low speed basically. So in the last class we have already discussed that cylindrical pole or a non-salient pole type say rotors are axial length is more and diameter is less, and whereas in case of salient poles axial length is less and diameters of the say rotor is more. Okay, so that is the case. So that's all we have discussed, and next we will come to the point of EMF, generated EMF equation. So now we will discuss about the synchronous machine generated EMF. Basically, this is the EMF equation of a synchronous generator. So the generator which runs at a synchronous speed is known as the synchronous generators, which we have discussed several times in our classes of this synchronous machines. And the synchronous generator converts the mechanical power into electrical energy for the grid, and the derivation of EMF equation of a synchronous generator is discussed as given here under. So let us suppose the P be the number of poles of the synchronous generators, and phi is the flux per pole in Weber, and N is the speed in revolution per minute, that is RPM. F be the frequency, supply frequency in Hertz, and Z phase actually is the number of conductors connected in series per phase, and T phase actually is the number of turns connected in series per phase, and Kc is the coil span factor, and Kt is the distribution factor. Say basically flux cut by each conductor during one revolution is given as say P into phi, because P is the number of pole and phi is the flux per pole. So this is P phi Weber, and time taken to complete one revolution is given by 60 by N, because N revolution, N is the speed in revolution per minute. So 60 second is for N revolutions require 60 second. For one revolution it will say 60 by N. So average EMF induced per conductor will be given by the equations like this. This will be P phi by 60 by N. So it will be P phi N by 60 volt. So this is actually the average EMF induced per conductor. Now average EMF induced per phase will be given by the equations. So P phi N by 60 into Z phase. Basically Z phase is the number of conductors connected in series per phase. So this will be P phi N 60 into Z phase. So that will be P phi N 60, and Z phase will be 2 into the turn per phase. This is the number of turns connected in series per phase. So and therefore so this turn per phase, basically it is Z phase by 2. So it will be Z phase will be equal to twice the turn phase, T phase. So average EMF will be then it will be how much? So it will be 4 phi T phase Pn into by 120. Okay. So see, this will be like this. This equation can be written in this way: 4 phi T phase Pn by 120, that is 4 pi F T phase. Okay, so put this value here. We can write here. So this will be ppm by 30. So this is also coming to like this. So this is actually the average EMF. So per phase, so that is 4 phi F T phase. The average EMF is derived with these assumptions. That is, coils have got the full pitch, and all the conductors are connected in one stator slot. But that is not the case. So, and root mean square value of the EMF induced per phase should be the average value multiplied by the form factor. So that is equal to 1.11. So that is 4 pi F T phase into 1 into 1.11. That is 4.44 phi F T phase volts. Okay, but this deduction is based on to more important assumptions. So that is, coils are concentrated and full pitch, and say that is coils have got the full pitch, and the coils are concentrated in one stator slot, but that is not the case. So that's why if it is not full pitch, then coil span factor, that is, and the distribution factors are coming into the picture. Basically, say coil span factor Kc and the distribution factor Kd are taken into consideration, because the product of this coil span factor and the distribution factor is the winding factors. So this to be taken into consideration, and then the actual EMF induced per phase is given as 4.44 Kc Kd 5 F T phase volts. So this sequence shows is the EMF equation of the synchronous generation. Basically, you know that coil span factor is nothing but the ratio of the induced EMF in the coil when the winding is short pitched to the induced EMF in the same coil when the winding is full pitched. So in reality, neither the coil is full pitched and not the coil. All the coils or conductors are concentrated in a single slot. Okay. There are a lot many factors but which we have discussed in the very beginning, and you know, so that's why we have got the coil span factor and the distribution factor. They are basically so get the proper voltage profile to harmonic phase, etc. So coil are set rather than full pitch, it will be short pitched, and rather than concentrated winding, it will be distributed winding over the entire say stator periphery. The armature conductors are being distributed in a so to get the three-phase balanced winding. And a distribution factor, so as a result, is defined as the ratio of the induced EMF in the coil group when winding is distributed in a number of slots, so to the induced EMF in the coil group when winding is concentrated in one slot. So these two factors will be taken into consideration, and the EMF equations will be like this. Okay, so that is actually the coil span factors or the distribution factors. So if we take these two into consideration, so EMF equation will be E per phase should be 4.44 Kc Kd 5 F T phase volts. So once again I can repeat this EMF equations, how we get this generated EMF in the equations. As we know, the working principle is like this. In a synchronous generators, rotor is being rotor field. Basically, rotor is is acting as a field. It will produce the main magnetic field. So basically, a DC supply is given to the rotor winding, that is field winding, by different excitation methods. So we have discussed at the very beginning of this class, and after this DC is being supplied to the field winding for excitation, and that is to creating the main field, and then the rotor is coupled with the prime mover. So if it is a cylindrical machine, so it is which is used for say steam generators, steam turbine. So basically this with the help of this turbine or prime mover, the rotor is being rotated, and the rotating magnetic field will be produced, and this rotating magnetic field will induce the armature three-phase windings of the armatures, and where EMF will be induced. So that is the working principles. And now to get this induced EMF equations in the armature winding, that is in the stator winding. So we will develop this equation in this fashion, that we have taken the number of poles as P, the flux per poles as phi in Weber, and the speed of the revolution, that is rotor speed, that is it should be equal to say n rpm. F is the supply frequency in hertz, and ZPH, that is the number of conductors connected in series per phase in the armature, and T phase is the number of turns connected in series per phase, and Kc is the coil span factor. If we, this is coming into pictures, because in actual case the coil are not full pitch, they are short pitched, and Kd is the distribution factor. In actual case, coils are distributed along that say periphery of the stators in the different slot in a balanced way to get a three-phase balanced say structure, and this product of these two Kc and Kd will be termed as the winding factors. So if we let us first suppose that coil is full phase and concentrated in a single slot. So in that case, a flux cut by each conductor during one revolution will be P5 Weber, and time taken to complete one revolution is given by P5. It is given by 60 by N second. So average EMF induced per conductor will be given by the equations that is equal to P5 by 60 by N, that is P5 N by 60, it is the average EMF induced per conductors. So average EMF induced per phase will be given by the equations like this. So it is multiplied by the series conductor in a phase, that is Z phase, where we have shown that the Z phase is the number of conductors in series per phase. So that is the average EMF induced per phase will be P5 N by 60 into Z phase, that is should be equal to Z pH equal to 2 into T phase. This is coming from these equations, and then average EMF that will be can be written in this way. This will be 4 into phi into T phase into Pn by 120, and this is actually 4 pi. This actually equal to F. So 4 pi F T phase. Okay. So this is actually average EMF. So get the average EMF equations we have derived. I told you in the very beginning, that is the coils of full piston are concentrated in one stator slot. So to get the RMS value of this induced EMF per phase, it is given by this average value will be multiplied by the form factors, which is nothing but 1.11. So this will be the multiplied by 1.11 will give you the 4.44 pi T phase volts. So that is the actually EMF induced per phase. But in actual case, coils are not full phase and they are not concentrated in a single stator slot. So therefore the factors due to the fractional pitch or short pitch coils, the factor coils fan factor will come into pictures, and since coils are not concentrated, they are distributed in the all the slots along the stator periphery. So distribution factors also will come into the pictures, and this EMF equations per phase should be multiplied by Kc into Kd will give you the actual value of the EMF equation. So that will be like this. So 4.44 Kc Kd phi F T phase. So this Kc and Kd is jointly this product is called a winding factor, Kw. And once again, I am telling you, this coil span factor is defined as the ratio of the induced EMF in the coil when the winding is short pitch to the induced EMF in the same coil when the winding is full pitch. And distribution factor is defined as the ratio of the induced EMF in the coil group when the winding is distributed in the number of slots to the induced EMF in the coil group when the winding is concentrated in one slot. So that's actually the EMF equations of synchronous machines, that are the synchronous generator. And hope you have understand subject what we have discussed today. That is, we have discussed the extended part of the construction of features, basically the excitation systems for synchronous machines, where we have discussed about the DC excitation system, and particularly we have mainly concentrated on the brushless excitation systems, which is used for the large synchronous machines, irrespective of generators and motors in nowadays. So hope you have enjoyed the class, So thank you very much for patient hearing.